Hello everyone, Yelizaveta Taylor here, founder and CEO of Beyond Book Solutions, your go-to bookkeeper for construction business owners. I help you save time, make more money, and pay yourselves more through accurate bookkeeping, budgeting, and more. Today's video is inspired by how I built my own team in the construction bookkeeping business and what I have witnessed my clients did successfully when it comes to building the right team and relationships. See, one of the reasons why successful business owners are able to scale their business and fully enjoy their time as a person outside of being just a business owner is because they found top-notch quality team members who are worth investing in. The result? Hundreds of clients saved. No longer have to do things all by themselves. Being able to take breaks and spend time with the family, spend more time networking, marketing, and learning to keep growing the business, and more. This is literally just the tip of the iceberg. Now, I totally understand why most people find it hard to let go of the control, delegate, and actually build their team. Let's face it, it's tough to find good, reliable, trustworthy people who really know their craft and who's willing to stick it out with you. Investing in people takes time, trust, and most of it all takes courage. So for today's video, I'll be talking about subcontractor and vendor management, tips on how you can build your very own dream team so you can stop working in your business constantly and work on it so you can grow. Ready? Let's dive in. The best comparison I could think of when choosing your team is like being a football coach, but instead of players, you're managing your subs and suppliers. Sounds a bit offbeat, right? But the principles are pretty similar. It all boils down to strategy, negotiation, and keen eye for detail. So first up, let's talk about drafting your A team. Just like in sports, you need top-notch players to compete at the highest level. In construction, your players are your subcontractors and vendors. You don't want to end up with amateurs. You need a blend of skill, experience, and reliability to ensure your projects run smoothly. Tip number one, when looking for new vendors or subcontractors, don't just be focusing on the lowest bid. Check their track record, read feedbacks from other clients. Referrals are gold. And overall reliability. I once had a client who kept choosing the cheapest option, thinking it's the way to go save more money. Let me tell you what happened. He was working on a large residential project and decided to go with the lowest bid for every subcontractor and supplier. At first, it seemed like he was saving a lot of money, but soon the problems started piling up. The drywall contractor he hired offered the lowest price, but their work was subpar. This poor quality work meant that I had to hire another subcontractor to redo the drywall, doubling the cost and wasting precious time. And the same thing happened with the flooring supplier. It did not stop there either. The cheapest electrician, they cut corners to save on materials and labor as well, which led to multiple electrical issues and safety concerns. My client ended up hiring a more expensive, reputable electrician to fix the problems, which added more unexpected expenses to the project. Guess what? He learned the hard way that sometimes going for the cheapest option can end up costing you more in the long run due to the poor quality and the delays. What you can also do is have a test run before you dive all in. It's like test driving a car before you make the purchase, right? Don't be afraid to be straightforward as well with what you need, expect, and how you want them to work with you. Otherwise, skirting around the more important details might just leave you investing in the wrong people. Now, let's get into negotiation. It's not just about getting the lowest price, like haggling at the flea market. It's about building a win-win relationship with your subcontractors and vendors. Speaking from experience, I've been in this business for more than 5 years now, and I've learned that knowing your numbers is the key. When I was hiring for a key marketing role, I knew that preparation was crucial. This hire was super important for driving our strategy forward, so I did my homework on industry costs. First, I researched average salaries for similar roles in the industry. I needed to know the going rates to make sure I wasn't lowballing or overpaying. Next, I considered the value this person would bring, that return on investment. What would I get? What unique skills did they offer to hit our marketing goals faster? This helped me justify a competitive salary. When I met with them, I was armed with that information and we discussed their expectations and how their skills matched our needs. That transparency built trust and showed I value their expertise. We talked about more than just salary, benefits, bonuses, and professional development too. By highlighting these perks, I presented an offer that was both comprehensive and attractive. Get scrappy, do your research, so you don't go blind when entering negotiations. Tip number 2, in construction, make sure you understand the true costs of your project so you can negotiate with clarity and confidence. That ensures you get good deals while maintaining quality. Let's talk about the domino effect on project costs. Imagine a tiny delay or mistake from a vendor. It might seem small or insignificant, but it can trickle down through your project, driving up costs very unexpectedly. I'd like to call that as a domino effect or a ripple effect. As a remote bookkeeper, I see this all the time. One little hiccup and suddenly the budget is spiraling out of control. Don't believe me? Quick story time. I had a client whose project was delayed because a supplier didn't deliver materials on time. You might be thinking, delays are normal, right? Well, while delays can happen, it definitely shouldn't be the norm. Let me break this down for you. The project was on tight schedule and the materials were supposed to be arriving on Tuesday. Well, everything was planned around that delivery. The framing crew was scheduled to start work on Wednesday and other subcontractors were lined up to follow. But the materials didn't show up until Friday. Now the framing crew had to be rescheduled, which wasn't easy because they were booked on other jobs. This is why it's super important to stick to a schedule, because unless you have your own in-house team, subcontractors also have other projects lined up. This delay pushed back the framing work by a week because the framing wasn't done on time. The electricians and plumbers couldn't start their work as planned. This created a backlog and chaos really in the schedule. The project manager had to scramble to adjust the timeline for all the subcontractors involved. The client was pretty unhappy because the project was now running behind schedule, but it didn't stop there. The delay also meant that the rental equipment, which was already on site, was sitting idle, raking up extra costs. And let's not forget increased labor costs from workers who had to wait around or be rescheduled. And the client had to deal with an unhappy homeowner, and this is why it's so important to evaluate your vendors and ensure they're reliable. A small hiccup from a vendor can snowball into a major problem for the entire project. Tip number 3, regularly evaluate the performance of subcontractors. If a vendor consistently causing delay, that's going to hit your bottom line. Keep a clear line of communication and address any issues early on to prevent small problems from turning into the big ones. Tip number 4, building strong relationships with your vendors and subcontractors. It means you're more than just another client. You become a priority, which translates to faster responses, better deals, and a willingness to go the extra mile when you need it most. Now, let's get real. People prefer doing business with those they trust and like. Simple gestures like sending a thank you note, acknowledging good work, or even helping out in a tough situation can go a long way. I've seen stronger business relationships formed over casual conversations more than just formal meetings. Personal story, I remember working with a team member who consistently went extra mile because I took the time to get to know her outside of work, knowing about their families, their goals and dreams, and showing genuine interest makes a huge difference. This is your team. And remember, the job of a leader is to have a vision that's big enough for everyone on their team's dreams and goals to fit inside of. If that's not true, then your best people will go find a team where that can be true. So get to know your team, their goals and their desires. The more you treat them fairly, the more they will love working with you. It's pretty simple, really. And if you're thinking, This all sounds great, but I've got a construction business to run and no time for all this. Well, it is more than on time to learn this task of delegation and automation to free up time for what matters most. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more tips on managing your construction business. Catch you in the next video.